Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark from the United States.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Mark from the States. How we doing today? I am doing fantastic. I hope you are as well. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate all of you. I really do. Hope you realize that. I'm so excited. My good friend Darren has a channel called Dronezone-Media Productions, and he does just incredible aerial shots of the countryside and just wonderful and beautiful locations. And he has made me a video specifically for me. I am so honored. I don't know what to say. I'm so excited to be able to show this and watch this with all of you. But I'm just overwhelmed by just joy that someone would actually take the time to do something for me like this. And I mean, honestly, Darren and I have never met in person. And for him to put in tons of work here, it just blows my mind how much work it takes to do one of these videos. I am just truly honored. And as you can tell, I'm just really excited to see this, and I'm excited to be able to watch this with all of you. This is going to be on Derbyshire, and I'm so excited, if you can't tell. And I'm just really happy, as you can tell by my smile. This is so cool. Please go and support Darren and his channel. He doesn't do this for to make millions of dollars on YouTube. He does it because he loves doing it, and I mean, that's kind of why I do the videos that I do. His editing skills are so much better than mine, and I undoubtedly see, along with me, that he's just so much better at video editing and video making, for that matter, than I could ever be. And so I'm excited to see this. I just don't know. I'm very honored. I'm just speechless. So it's awesome. So please come sit on this big fake couch. You guys know the drill. Let's get into this. This is Visit the UK, Derbyshire, a Dronezone-Media production for moi. This is going to be great. Okay, let's do it.
Dronezone-Media has put together this video exclusively for Mark from the States. In hindsight, if we had covered all the great places to visit in Derbyshire, this would have been an extremely long video. So we have decided to cover just a 5-mile radius of where we are based. There's more than enough to keep you entertained.
I'm assuming that's you,
Please
Darren.
stick around for the special segment at the end.
Ooh.
In case you're wondering how popular Mark is in the UK, just take a trip to any electrical retail store and you will get your answer.
No way. Look at that big fat couches over here. Oh my gosh. Yes. Unbelievable. Oh my gosh. I'm overwhelmed with joy right now. This is so awesome. Oh my gosh. All right. Bakewell.
We will begin in the picturesque and historic market town of Bakewell.
Oh, that is so cool.
It is the largest settlement in the Peak District National Park and is well known to residents and visitors alike as the capital of the Derbyshire Dales. It really is a little gem of a town in the heart of the glorious Peak District. The wonderful old buildings, the character cottages, Bakewell is simply a truly beautiful place. It's a trinket box of shopaholic delights with the wonderful River Wye undulating gently under a glorious Gothic arched bridge with the ancient Saxon church looking on.
Oh my gosh.
Legend has it that the town's famous Bakewell pudding was created by mistake by a local cook in the mid-19th century. Today, her delectable jam tart that went wrong can be sampled at various bakeries and cafes and posted virtually anywhere in the world.
I knew that sounded familiar. Bakewell. Yeah, that place, Bakewell, I mean, just by those shots alone, I mean, it just looked like if it was like a movie set. Like you were going to say, give me a quintessential small town or small village look in the UK, and that's what they would design right there. That is so awesome.
A few miles from Bakewell is Chatsworth Park, covering 1,000 acres and enclosed by a dry stone wall that is 15 kilometers long. The park is home to red and fallow deer, sheep, cattle, and many wild animals. It is a farmed, food-producing landscape.
Wow.
The river provides fish and the woods game and timber. Without the work of the Chatsworth team, it would soon be changed beyond recognition by nature and the wear and tear caused by the footfall of 1 million visitors each year.
That is awesome.
The park holds a key position in the history of English landscape design, in part because its landscape has been influenced by some of the greatest artists and designers of their time, including George London, William Kent, Capability Brown, Sir Geoffrey Wyatville, and Sir Joseph Paxton. Each of these remarkable individuals, encouraged and directed by successive Dukes of Devonshire, have left their mark on the landscape through their architecture, waterworks, tree planting, and the creation of views which link the house, garden, and park together. Today, the park contains historic and modern architecture and art, including James Payn's bridges and mill, Queen Mary's bower, and horse jumps from the Chatsworth International Horse Trials. Chatsworth House has served as the home of the Dukes of Devonshire and their ancestors since the mid-16th century. It is one of the finest country houses in the country, drawing countless visitors into its opulent halls every year. The first house to be built on the Chatsworth House site was constructed in 1549 by Bess of Hardwick and her husband, Sir William Cavendish. This original estate was notable for its use as a prison for Mary Queen of Scots, who was kept here on several occasions between 1569 and 1584.
Wow, that...
Little remains of the original structure except
Sorry
the hunting
about that.
tower, which still stands on the hill behind the house. This high prospect tower is sited on the crest of the hill, ideally placed to provide extensive views of the deer park, both for locating deer, observing the hunting, as well as being a place for banquets.
Wow, look at that.
Guests would have enjoyed the contrasting views to the west, with its tamed landscape, including the house and formal gardens below and fields beyond.
I love how they've added what looks to be like cell towers and stuff in there, but oh God, that is gorgeous. Look at that. Wow, that is so beautiful. And can I just say, if is that you, Darren, narrating? Because you've got an incredible voice for this sort of thing. My gosh, it's that the voiceover is just incredible. It's like perfect. So well done. Yeah, that estate looks incredible. with the waterway right there. We don't have stuff like this. That is awesome.
It was not until 1686 that the first Duke of Devonshire began a major rebuilding program at the house, constructing most of what survives today. While the second and third dukes largely left the architecture of the house alone, they amassed its huge collection of notable artwork, from ancient Greek and Roman sculpture to Old Master drawings. The famous socialite Lady Georgiana Spencer and the 5th Duke of Devonshire lived here in the 18th century, while in the 19th the eccentric 6th Duke of Devonshire, or the Bachelor Duke, occupied its halls. Queen Victoria came to stay many times during his residency. Today, Chatsworth House is open to the public and is operated by the Chatsworth House Trust. The house boasts a wealth of interesting art, furniture and antiques, as well as exceptional architecture throughout a number of its stunning rooms. A must-see at Chatsworth House is the amazing Devonshire collection, which displays an array of interesting items from the family's personal collections. The estate has a wonderful 105-acre garden, which is also open to the public and includes a large maze, farmyard and adventure playground.
Maze. Wow.
While at Christmas, Chatsworth is famously redecorated for immense festive celebrations.
That's got to be incredible at Christmas time. Oh, great car. Look at that.
Now we will explore the unique and wonderfully idiosyncratic village of Ena.
Ena.
Beginning life long ago as a scattering of simple cottages between the River Derwent and Chatsworth House, the village was relocated in 1839 and transformed into a wonderful collection of fanciful villas set in a walled enclosure in the beautiful parkland of the Chatsworth estate. The first significant alterations to the original village were made in 1762, when the 4th Duke of Devonshire demolished several buildings that were obstructing his view of the natural parkland created for him by the famous landscape designer Capability Brown.
That's wild.
70 years later, the construction of a new turnpike through the estate prompted the 6th Duke to complete the demolition of the rest of the village before rehousing its inhabitants in a new Ena, which he had decided to build for them on a plot of land sited well away from Chatsworth House. The story goes that the Duke was shown a portfolio of house plans drawn up by the architect John Robertson and asked to select his preferred design for the houses that would make up his new village. As he was too busy to make a carefully considered choice, the Duke glanced quickly through the various options presented to him and simply ordered one of each. Whether or not this account is true, it is certainly the case that no two houses in Ena are the same. Some were designed by Robertson himself, whilst many others were the work of the Duke's talented gardener Joseph Paxton, who came up with his own interpretations of Robertson's house plans. Just a few years after the new Ena was built, it was already being thought of as a show village.
A show village.
Its extravagant villas were celebrated in a book called Sketches from the Picturesque Village of Ena, published in 1854, and rules were being enforced to preserve the appearance of the settlement as a model village. High garden walls were constructed to hide the less attractive domestic necessities. Vegetables had to be grown in a designated allotment area, and a communal drying area was provided to ensure no washing lines would be seen elsewhere in the village.
Oh, wow.
There was even a rule that no pigs were allowed.
No pigs.
It might be thought that people lucky enough to live in this lovely settlement will enjoy an idyllic existence. But there is one important catch. All the houses were built purely for their external appearance, and consequently many of them have an abundance of poky little rooms. Most of the houses in Enza are not only ostentatious in style, but are considerably bigger than the type of modest dwellings you would expect to find in a small English village. One house was spared from demolition because the Duke did not want to disturb the tenant, Thomas Holmes, who was an old man at the time. His house, known as Park Cottage, still stands in splendid isolation in a walled garden situated in a hollow a few yards away from Enza. The church has also been criticized for being too grand for a settlement of this size. However, it could be argued this soaring structure acts as a yardstick that helps reduce the apparent scale of the houses, making them look charming rather than pretentious. The graveyard contains the graves of various members of the Devonshire family, but are much less grand than the large tomb dedicated to the family's famous gardener, Sir Joseph Paxton.
To his gardener, Sir Joseph Paxton. That is so, I don't want to say bizarre, but just a show village. Of course, the outsides, he's saying the outsides look incredible, which they do, but the insides are a little more than what's normally had, I guess, at the time. And, just the history blows me away. Just blows me away.
On Saturday, July 29th, 1963, just 4 months before his assassination, the President of the United States, John F. Kennedy, arrived in the village aboard a U.S. Army helicopter. He walked from a field over the Deer Leap on a specially constructed bridge that the estate workmen had put up. For a brief moment, he stood in the quiet Derbyshire churchyard beside the grave of his sister Kathleen.
What?
Although his visit was informal, every movement the president made was scrutinized by a weighty corps of security men, including one who waited near the grave guarding the flowers until the president arrived. JFK, his sister Eunice Kennedy Shriver, and members of the Devonshire family placed 3 sprays of roses and a spray of carnations by the simple memorial stone. On January 25, 1964, several months after his brother's death, Robert Kennedy also visited the village.
Wow.
Flying from London with his wife in a pink and blue helicopter, it was reported they placed daffodils and tulips on the grave. Just over a year later, in May 1965, Senator Ted Kennedy and his wife Joan also visited the grave to lay flowers.
Wow. Wow. That is so cool. You know, when it comes to the Kennedys, that's kind of like the closest we'll ever come to like a royal family. How they are thought of, the numerous Kennedys and their involvement in the government or, you know, in public service. And whether you're a Republican or Democrat, the Kennedys will always be looked as, you know, Camelot, as they say. It's just, there's just all of them have intriguing stories. And now we have Robert Kennedy's son, Robert Kennedy Jr. He's running for president. He's challenging Joe Biden. So, but Robert's pretty controversial, but that's not for this video. I had no idea they had a sister buried there. That is wild. I had to look it up. Sorry. I had to look it up. I was like, Kathleen Kennedy. I was like, how come I didn't remember that she was buried there. I heard she goes by the nickname Kick, and that's how I knew her. I'm not claiming to know the Kennedy history very well, but I do remember he had a sister that they called Kick, and she was Kathleen Agnes Cavendish. So, yes, now it's all coming back. I was like, what? I'd totally forgotten about her. And I knew that their father, Joseph, he like kept it kind of hidden or something to that extent, that he, because JFK was running for office and they didn't want it to, it's just a screwed up time. I don't know how that would, I don't know, maybe because she was married into somewhat, who was she married to? She was married to, let me look this up. Kathleen Agnes Cavendish, Marchioness of Hardington. She was the second sister of, her dad, of course, was the U.S. ambassador to the U.K. She married Lord Hardington. Is that how you pronounce that? She married him in 1944, but she was killed in a plane crash in 1948 flying to the south of France. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a deep dive here and go down this rabbit hole. But I knew of Kick Kennedy, which is, I don't know how she got that nickname, but yeah, it's all somewhat coming back. I do remember her, but I would have never said, hey, where's she buried? I would have never picked Enzer at all. That's so cool. So cool. Wow. Very cool.
Haddon Hall, the private residence of Lord and Lady Edward Manners, is set in the Peak District in the valley of the River Wye. With 900 years of history, it is one of the oldest houses in the country, and moreover, one of the only houses in England to have remained in one family's ownership for its entire existence.
Whoa, that's a feat.
Haddon is unique as it remained empty for nearly 200 years. This extraordinary period, when time stood still in the hall, allowed it to remain unaltered during the modernizing period of the Georgians and Victorians. So venturing into Haddon is like stepping back in time. The medieval banqueting hall remains furnished with its original dais table, behind which hangs a tapestry gifted to the family by visiting Henry VIII.
Wow.
The parlour boasts its glorious Tudor-painted ceiling of Tudor roses and marvellous heraldic panelling. Exquisite and very rare 15th century fresco secos adorn the walls of the medieval chapel. In contrast to the Tudor and medieval rooms below, the light and airy first-floor Elizabethan rooms culminate in the spectacular 110 feet Robert Smithson-designed Long Gallery, reputed to be one of the most beautiful rooms in England.
That's incredible.
The terraced Elizabethan walled gardens, known for their beauty and structure, cascade down to the River Wye, and providing spectacular views of the ancient parkland and Peak District beyond. From cultural documentaries to blockbuster period dramas, historical thrillers to daytime favorites, filmmakers from around the world have chosen the iconic setting of Haddon Hall as the backdrop for their work, adding character, beauty, and authenticity to their productions.
Heck yeah.
Whilst it is well known that Haddon is one of the great survivors of the medieval age, having been left under lock and key by its family for 200 years, it is less well known that its medieval park that encircles the hall has also remained largely undisturbed and is remarkable for its diversity of habitats, unaltered landscapes, and stretches of ancient pasture. Haddon's medieval park, recognized as nationally significant through its inclusion on the Register of Historic Parks and Gardens at Grade 1, the highest possible designation, is now for the first time being made available to be seen and enjoyed via a new program of guided walks and talks.
Now that would be cool.
The park, which reaches to 187
Look at
hectares, includes parkland, woodland, a significant stretch of the River Wye, water meadows, wetlands, and former stretches of farmland. Almost half of the park is particularly unusual, as it is land that has not been touched by agricultural systems for at least 900 years, making it of significant scientific and ecological interest.
That is so freaking awesome. I'm sorry to keep saying wow, but a lot of this, that's my natural, normal response. It's just the beauty, the history, the fact that this particular one, Haddon Hall, hadn't been touched for 200 years, staying in the same family. I mean, that's just wild. And that aerial shot that Darren got was just breathtaking, just beautiful. It's like sensory overload here. It's just incredible. It's just amazing. I wish I can do what you do, Darren. I wish that it's just the things that you're able to see. It's just incredible. Man, this is great. Cool.
You may be wondering what this special section of the video is all about. Dronezone-Media just happens to be based within a few miles of all these locations that Mark and his wonderful wife should recognize. Maybe this will give them a clue. My voice is a lot older now, but does this line ring a bell? As you wish.
Yes, Princess Bride.
Buttercup's farm is the first set shown in the fictional country of Florin. Distant views of the farm were filmed from a footpath near Robin Hood's Stride, another filming location we will visit shortly. The scenes that take place on Buttercup's farm were filmed at the real-world farm of Bradley Rocks, just outside the small town of Birchover.
No way. Darren, did I tell you? How'd you know that? I must have mentioned this to you, or maybe I said it in a video, but Princess Bride is my wife and I's, favorite movie. It's like our movie, for sure. Oh, man, this is so cool. I'm going to have to get her to watch this, for sure.
This farm is where Buttercup meets and falls in love with the farm boy, Wesley, who then sets off to earn enough money so he and Buttercup can get married.
Oh, that's
Remarkably, 36 years after filming ended, the buildings are still standing.
Wow.
The interior and exterior of this Tudor period country house were used in filming scenes that take place at Prince Humperdinck's castle. When Wesley is supposedly killed, leaving Buttercup alone, Buttercup is forced into an engagement with Prince Humperdinck. The engagement is announced, and the former commoner is introduced as Princess Buttercup at Prince Humperdinck's castle in Florin City. The exterior of the castle appears again when Buttercup has a nightmare of an old woman berating her for marrying Humperdinck.
Boo. Oh, that is so awesome. Robin Hood's Stride.
Not far from the filming location of Buttercup's farm is the rocky area where Wesley
Yes.
fights Fezzik in hand-to-hand
Fights
combat.
Andre the Giant. Fezzik. And then he meets with...
This gritstone rock formation is known as Robin Hood's Stride and is a minor attraction for locals who enjoy hiking up to the mound of rocks and taking in the view of the countryside.
That's so cool. Dream of very large women.
Roughly a 20-minute drive down the road from Lathkill Dale is Carl Wark, a rocky protrusion of land on Hathersage Moor. This striking landscape, known for gritstone tours, sets the scene for a tense conversation between Buttercup and the masked Wesley, who has not yet revealed his true identity.
Oh, wow. I can't wait to watch this movie again.
At the intersection of two short river valleys, Lathkill Dale and Kalesdale, is the rock shelf where Wesley and Vincini engage in wry banter over 2 cups of wine.
Vincini.
One has been poisoned by Wesley, who challenges Vincini to pick a
Iocane
cup and
powder.
drink while he drinks from the other. Little does Vincini know that Wesley, immune to the poison, has secretly poisoned both cups. Vincini dies, and Buttercup is freed. Cavedale and Castleton, another 20 minutes or so from Carl Wark, is the verdant, glacially formed valley where Buttercup pushes Wesley down a hill, intending to seriously injure or kill him in the process.
Oh, wow.
Wesley finally reveals his identity to Buttercup by crying out, "As you wish!" Buttercup, realizing that Wesley is alive, hurls herself down the hill after him, and the two are finally reunited as a couple.
Yeah. Head into the forest. Yeah. That's so cool.
It's taken a few months filming, dodging the rain showers and battling the wind, followed by many hours in post-production, and I've only scratched the surface of the many beautiful places to visit in Derbyshire.
Incredible, Darren. I'm just blown away. Wow.
If you enjoy this, please leave a like and subscribe to both ours and Mark's channels. You won't be disappointed.
No, please, don't worry about me. Please go and support Darren. Unbelievable. Wow, Darren, that was incredible. I am just truly humbled. I don't know what to say. I mean, you could just tell your love for what you do comes through in your production. And I am just so honored that you would, go through all that work. So cool. So cool to include me. in it is just amazing. And the fact that you had that bit at the end that involved my wife and I's favorite movie, Princess Bride, is just, I mean, I'm starting to get a little emotional. So thank you. I just feel, I feel so blessed. Thank you so much. I mean, watching this video makes me want to get a GoPro, and I do want to get a GoPro. I want to get out and do travel videos and film where I go, and because we do go a lot of places, and while I think maybe, oh, nobody cares to see this, I mean, just for the sheer video record of it would be awesome. For Father's Day this past weekend, on our way back from the graduation, on our way home, we darted over to San Francisco and to our favorite place, and I did film with my camera on my phone. It's not very good, and I'm trying to put together a video, and it's not easy. And when you have zero skill like myself, it's really not easy. But this is such an inspiration. Watching this video, you've inspired me to do better. And just please, everyone, go support Darren and his endeavor. It is truly remarkable. And you're just a top bloke, if I may say. Just your quality, my friend. Thank you so much. Wow. I hope everybody's happy, healthy, and safe. That was special. And I hope you enjoyed that. Again, please go support Darren on Dronezone-Media Productions channel. And yeah, have a great day, because I'm going to have an amazing day, obviously, after watching this. This is awesome. All right, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark. And he's from